Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us and a very warm welcome to today's session on decision-making skills. Um, Such is the importance of decision-making skills that I heard a director in our organization saying, I don't want people with a very successful track record. Bring me people who have been making correct decisions in their life. So organizations, rather than now looking at numerical success, are now more consciously looking for people who take good decisions or the right decisions in the right circumstances. Such is the importance of this particular topic. A very, very important subject. Mubin Saab and I, we were discussing a little while ago that there is learning to be incorporated in all your decisions that go right or the decisions that go wrong. If you're not able to connect the dots, pick up pieces, implement them, or exercise them next time, you are losing that opportunity of learning. So this is the subject today, a very, very important discussion. I'm sure all of you are going to learn a lot from it and enjoy it to the most. Again, I think participants from our previous session, the feedback that I got was that they liked the interactivity of the session. It was really, really interactive, which is actually your contribution to the discussion. So if you're just sitting back and listening, you're not doing yourself any good. On the contrary, if you're participating, if you are typing in the questions, if you're raising hands to speak when an opportunity comes, that is where you will learn the most. Second thing that I want to share with you is that on Friday and Saturday, we had our unmoderated sessions. And a lot of effort on part of the trainer, on part of ACCA as an organization goes into this discussion that this topic, it needs to have some follow through, it needs to have some activity, some exercise, some discussions that people or participants need to carry out having attended that session, right? So therefore, your practicing of what you learn in the session begins from the unmoderated session. Okay, so unless you're willing and able to come forward, grab that opportunity, take a center stage, take part in the role plays. For example, the last time we did was negotiation skills. Become a part of the negotiation skills, become a part of a difficult negotiation skills. If you have not done it in a role play, as a practice, you will be sitting in front of your line manager when you needed to have done all your practice. So I think that is the importance of the unmoderated session. So I will very strongly urge. My friend Feroz called me in a panic that day on Friday and Saturday. Not that much on Saturday, but on Friday, there are very few people willing to speak. So my friends who are attending today's session, there are around 100 people attending today's session, right? This is an opportunity for you to exercise your learning, to implement your learning, to discuss it with people. And as much as you learn from Mr. Mobeen through the session that he will conduct and through the interactivity today, equal amount of learning is sitting and waiting for you on during these unmoderated sessions, and therefore they are very, very important and not to be missed. So with this special request that you all have to be proactive, you have to be there in your unmoderated sessions. We are noticing who's participating and who's not, right? And surprises may await the ones who will be participating regularly. So be prepared, and I would urge strongly that you should be very, very active in the unmoderated session as well. Today's session, as I've explained, decision-making skills, and Mubin Saab is going to share some very, very interesting theories, concepts, practices that are in place in renowned organizations. So a lot to learn in today's session as well. One final comment before I hand over to Mr. Mubin, and an individual made this request specifically that we should be mindful of the cutoff time. Unfortunately, just because of my talk, it takes about 15 minutes, 5 minutes here and there. So please make a question for about 15 minutes towards the end of the session. If an important concept is to be rounded up, in the final few minutes of the session, they are very, very important. So I know you are tired, at the end of the day, you've done your work, you're probably on your way back home and attending the session, and therefore in a hurry to finish it all up and get back to your family. I fully understand that and we respect that. However, I think making a provision for about 10 to 15 minutes should not hurt. Right. So with that request, let me hand over to Mr. Mubin ul Haq. Mr. Mubin is going to take you through the session on decision-making skills. So over to you, Mr. Mubin. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arun. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and good evening. Decision-making skills, one of the most important topic of everyday life. If you remember saying what you are today is because of the decisions that you have taken in the past, and what you will be in the future will be based on the decisions that you will take today. As a manager, as a human, decision is the most important part of life. We cannot live without it. Every second, just like negotiation, life is about decisions. We make good decisions and we make bad decisions, but we make decisions. And there's another saying by a person. He said, I learned to make good decisions by making lots of bad decisions. So I have yet to come across a person in my life who has not made bad decisions. In fact, this is the most important part of life, where we learn, we grow, we become what we want to be by making lots of wrong decisions. But the question is not that we have taken a wrong decision. Question is what we have learned and how did we improved upon that decision. So this decision-making skills today comprises of a framework that I have taken from two different sources. One major source that I will be using is NASA's Kepner-Prego KT methodology, which is a very structured form of rational decision making. And another source is problem solving. Problem solving is a part of decision making, and we will be discussing various techniques. So this presentation is a sequential method of logical decision making. There are the aspects of emotional decision making that we will not be discussing in this one. That's a separate subject. So this course will focus on logical decision making, and as usual, it will be very interactive, discussion based, question based, and learning based. So let me start the session. Decision making skills. A very good saying by Theodore Roosevelt, as you know, is American president. As you can read, in any moment of decision, best thing is to do the right thing. The next big thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing. So not taking decision is the worst thing possible in any situation. Even a bad decision is a good decision because at least you have decided something. So not deciding creates confusion, and that may result in a very serious accident. So take decisions, whether right or wrong. If you have taken a wrong decision, make it right. Learn and make it right. So on the onset, let's understand that problem solving is different from decision making. And there are different types of problem solvings. And in problem solving, we need some use of creativity, and there are multiple techniques of creativity that we'll be studying. Decision making problem solving requires a certain mindset. When we are trying to identify the problem, we need a different mindset. While when we are looking for alternatives or we are evaluating the alternatives, a different type of mindset is required. So that in decision making and problem solving, at each step, we will be requiring a different form of thinking. So this is what we will be studying. Some form of thinking we'll study, some we will study in the next presentation. So there are two types of problem solving: analytical, where we are trying to find the cause of a problem. What is the second type of problem solving? Any idea? What is the second type of problem solving? One is analytical. What is the other type of decision problem solving? Creative. Yes, Sultan Ahmed. It's creative decision making. One is analytical, where you are let me just put it away. And creative decision making, where you want to find new solutions, you want to innovate, you improve, you bring new idea. So basically analytical. And in problem solving, we are talking about problem solving. Problem solving, as the state say, mind is like a parachute. It works best when it is open. So it requires thinking, lot of thinking. And yeah, our mind is like a muscle that we need to work and improve. So let's start with some questions. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Solve any two questions. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Solve any two questions. I'll wait for your answer that you will type in. Two, Muhammad Suleiman Simab. Yes, you are right. Good, thank you. Excellent. Habiba Hussain, no. Intelligence, I don't understand. Irfan Chughtai. Oh, no, 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 no. Zahra Azam, no. Two is your answer is wrong. Think again. Yes, Daniel, you are right. No, no, Rashid. Question number one is not right. Why would he do such a thing? Question number three. This is an odd behavior. Why would he do this behavior? Muhammad Sulaiman Simab. How can you explain this odd behavior? No, there was no name tag. So what does it mean he's a government employee, Zahid Arshad? Do government employees have horns on their head? Hassan Riaz, yes, you are right for the answer question number 2. So question number 2 has been answered many times. Let's focus on 1 or 3. No, he does not exercise. It's only during rainy day he does this. Yes, Irfan, question number 2 answer is right. Let's focus on 1 or 3. I have not got a single answer on 1 or 3. No, not a single answer is right for. No, Rajkumar, you see there are number of people in that room who were playing. This was not a single person. Yes, Zaryab, you got this one right for the answer number 1. Rest were all male. She was the only female. Fireman. It's not a man, it's a woman. No, it's not a Pakistani police making a decision on the hunch. Yes, Zaryab, you are right. So only number 3 is left now. Answer for number 2, the person took the basket and the egg. Answer to the number 1 was the victim was a woman, all other were men. So number 3 is left. Just 1 more minute, or otherwise I will move ahead and will not answer the question. How is that? Answer 3, because he is wet. Sayyid Ahmad Ghufran. So what does it mean? He goes to some level, then he decides to get wet. And the stairs, we all know, are not open to sky. All stairs are covered. He uses outdoor staircase, no way. He's using lift and combination of stairs. So that's not. Thank you, Arsalan Naseem. You can have a chocolate as well. Arslan has right. He was too short to reach the 10th floor button. Lift is only on 10. No. He was too short. So he was using, on the days that there was no raining, he would use stairs because he would not carry umbrella with him. And on the day of rains, he would use his umbrella to press the button for the 10th floor. Okay, so what did we learn from this activity? These are not questions for the sake of questions. Rather, what did we learn from this activity? What did we learn from this activity? Creative thinking, think out of the box. Okay, let me share. What did we learn from this activity? First of all, remember, Whenever we are solving a problem, we have certain assumptions in our mind about the problem. And those assumptions limit our solutions. Second thing, whenever we are in a problem or trying to understand a problem, the first thing that we need to do is to develop the picture of the problem. What might have happened? Have you ever watched Sherlock Holmes? The Sherlock Holmes is the capability of Sherlock Holmes is to develop the picture. What might have happened over here? So whenever you are solving a problem, try to understand and develop a picture in your mind. Second, you must always highlight the assumptions that you have about the problem, because these assumptions will limit your solutions. Challenge your assumptions as well. You must highlight your assumptions and challenge your assumptions. Okay, let's move to other set of questions. I'm giving you another set of questions. Solve any one of them. Cobb Al-Taghi, no, it is not only professional, it is both, personal and professional both. So who was first? Tanzil? Uh, Alina, I don't understand your answer. Please clarify. Okay, Zahra. Can you, Hasnan, can you explain why you think Rennie is second and what's the logic? Okay, let me show you the answers and then we'll discuss. Rennie is second, Luis is third. And this is the logic. So Muhammad Arslan Naseem, very good. You have the right answer. Habiba, excellent. Asif, excellent. Excellent, good. And the answer to the next question is this one. Danis went to Skokie and third went to Tulsa. Let's see who get these questions right. Harriet to Tulsa, no. Danis to Skokie, very good. Harriet to Boston, and third. Okay. No, Hassan, it's not the probability of being second is high. No, no, no. It's these problems were very different from the first set of problems. Can you tell me the difference? What is the difference between this set of problem and the first set of problem? Can anybody tell me what was the difference between these two problems? Yes, these are logical relationship-based problems. There were no assumptions. There was only analytical thinking, sequential analytical thinking that would have led you to the answer. Like this, you need to develop this type of argument. So you need to challenge each and every statement, and from that, you have to deduce the third statement. So using this logic, we can see we can develop some methodology to answer this question. So there are two different types of problems. One, the earlier problems were looking at creativity, creative aspect of thinking of solutions, which were not sequential. Here, we were more thinking of critical, sequential thinking in our brain. So there are two different types of problems, and this is how our life is all about. There are some problems where we will be requiring to come up with a creative solution. For others, we would need to understand the situation in detail and apply critical thinking, sequential thinking, judgmental thinking, and to come up with a good answer. Who knows the answer to this one? There are 9 dots. There are 9 dots. And you have to connect all dots with 4 straight lines without lifting your pen. Who knows the answer to this one? Yes, these questions were more logical. Yes, God, I do. Okay. Can you show me the answer? Anybody who can show the answer? Extend the line outside. Excellent, Daniel. Make no, don't make square. Aslan Naseem, don't make that. No folding of page. No folding of page. Go outside the box. Yes, Moeed Anjum, you are 100% right. This is a classical example. Let me take my tea with it. This exercise when you were using the word think outside the box. This was the exercise. This is an activity that shows you how to think outside the box. Most of us, when we looked at it, we thought it's a box. Whereas to solve it, we have to go outside the box. I have not given the solution here. You can go and search on it, search net for the solution. But this is the classical situation where we say think outside the box, challenge your assumptions, challenge your mindset, and develop your new set of mind, which can help you in coming up with a unique solution. So this is also an example in lateral thinking, where we challenge our assumptions and we try to find out new solutions. So basically, we need to be creative while solving a problem, and we need to be analytical, and we need to be critical. So there are different types of thinking that we will be applying during our problem solving techniques. Let me just have a sip of my tea. Okay. So what is the difference between problem solving and decision making? What is the difference between problem solving and decision making? No, Habiba, your answer is I don't know. Maybe right. Maybe I don't know. If I can't see it, I don't know. It's not a Z, Atik. What's the difference between problem solving and decision making? No, decision making is not a quick process. And yes, okay, that's good. Muhammad Raslan Naseem. Problem solving is finding a solution by analyzing, and decision making is a choice. Excellent. Good idea. Problem solving is a set of activities designed to analyze a situation systematically and generate, implement, and evaluate solution. Decision making is a mechanism for making choices at each step of the problem solving process. Decision making is a part of problem solving, and it occurs at every step of the. So decision making is the selection of an option over others under conditions that are uncertain, which exposes you to risk and in order to reach a specified goal, objective, or outcome. So decision making is a selection of an option, while problem solving is basically a full set of analyzing a situation to generate, implement, and evaluate. So problem solving is a wider scope. Decision making is a part of problem solving. DMPS stands for decision making and problem solving. And just remember, problem solving, first step is problem identification, but don't stop there, because identification of a problem is not a decision. We want to have a decision, not to stop at the first place. So in summary, problem solving, don't know what to do, decision making, choosing between the choices. So problem solving starts, I don't know what to do, let's solve the problem. And decision making is, okay, this is what we are going to do. Let me just have a look at your responses at the same time. Okay. Okay. So the first module was just on introducing the decision making, problem solving, and various type of thinkings that are required in this activity. So now let's look at the framework, the process of decision making and problem solving. In this module, we will focus upon steps of decision making and problem solving. We will understand various decision making and problem solving tools. These are the steps. If you see, there are 7 steps of decision making, problem solving. We will, in this seminar, we'll go through not all the steps, but I think first 4 or first 5. First 4, we will focus on first 4 because rest will be based upon implementation and other analysis, that is post decision making analysis. So let's look at the first 4 process of decision making. As I was said, I'm taking some material from NASA's KT methodology or Kepner-Trego methodology, and it's a structured rational problem solving process. One is a creative problem solving process, which is a part of this process, but this process assumes overall rational approach. It is not an emotional approach. It is not totally creative. There are some decisions in life which will be 100% creative. They will not be rational, rather creative. So this process comprises of 4 steps: situation appraisal, problem analysis, decision analysis, and potential problem, as you can see from this one. Situation appraisal is asking question, what is happening? Understanding the problem itself. What is the problem? Defining the problem. Problem definition is the most important part in decision making and problem solving. If you define the problem too narrowly, you will generate options narrowly. If you define it wrongly, you will analyze it wrongly. So definition of a problem is very critical. Second is problem analysis. Why it is happening, the cause analysis. Then the third is decision. What should we do about for it? Making a choice, identifying multiple options. Third, but most important area, the next important area that most of the time we miss out because we stop at decision analysis, making a choice, and we just jump onto the choice that we have, the first choice that we have, we jump onto it. We forget to analyze the potential problem analysis, what could go wrong with this option, making a critical analysis think of the choices that we have. So we can mitigate or manage the risk. We cannot avoid the risk, but we can only mitigate or manage the risk. Let me have a look at it. Any comments from you that worth? Okay, nothing so far. So situation appraisal is about when you are not sure what is happening, you want to identify and define the problem. Problem analysis is about finding a cause. This requires analytical thinking, finding the root cause. Decision analysis is for making the analysis of the choice, what to do. And potential problem analysis, as I discussed, analyzing the risk associated with each option. So let's start with the first step, situation appraisal, the one of the most important aspect in decision making. And think of a doctor who is trying to diagnose what has happened. If the doctor cannot define the problem properly, the doctor cannot treat the medicine, the disease. So let's start with, you don't have to share with me, what are the problems that you are facing at your workplace or in your life that you want to solve? So can you have a list of problems? I hope all of you are suffering from multiple problems in your life. So can you make a list of problems that you would like to tackle? I'm not interested in looking at your list. I just want you to have it. It could be professional problems, it could be personal problems. Just take 1 minute and develop your list. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, for this problem that you have identified, please answer these questions. Do you have a solution for the problem? Or do you know the cause or causes of the problem? Or you have assigned the problem to somebody else? Somebody else is solving this problem? And if the answer to any of this is yes, then my question is, why is it a problem then? If you know the solution, the problem is, why are you not implementing it? The problem is, I have a solution, but I cannot implement it. So your problem has changed. If you know the cause, then why are you not removing the cause? Then the problem is, I know the cause, but I can't remove the cause. Why? And if anybody else is working on this problem, why it's your headache then? So first of all, when you want to apply decision-making problem-solving framework, please check if you think you have a solution, then please be sure that is the one solution, not the only solution, one of the many solutions that you have. You should seek out multiple opinions for the solution. And if you know the cause, then remove the cause or find a way to remove the cause. That means you don't have a solution for the cause. Find the solution for the cause or look for other causes that you may not know. And if anybody else is working on the problem, keep the feedback on so that you know what is the status of these problems. But our issue in this one, we know we have a problem that I don't have a solution, I don't know the cause, and I am nobody is working on it. So I want to solve, I want to find, I want to identify how to solve this question. So if you have such a problem, you can raise your hand. Yes, I have a problem that I do not have a solution, I do not know the causes, and nobody else is working on that. So do you have any problem like this, where you have no solution, you do not know the cause? So anybody of you has this type of a problem? Okay, let's move forward. So we are starting with analytical decision making. Analytical decision making is when we want to discover the cause. It is not used when we want to create new solutions. So analytical decision making is a mindset. It's the way we think. It's a different type of thinking capability that we require to solve problems. The first step, as I have highlighted, is define the problem. Now, problem definition means stating your problem in a way that people can understand what is the problem. So one method is to give a statement between the difference between what you want and what you have. The problem is the difference between want and have. What I want is this, but what I have is this. The difference, the gap between want and have is the problem. In other words, similarly, we can say this is what should happen, and this is actually what is happening. For example, I should be on time. Actually, I am late. So the problem is the deviation of something from should to actual. This deviation is the problem. So most of the problems in life are based on this deviation between want and have and should and actual. So first thing you should do is to write a statement. This is what I have, but this is what I want. Can you write one statement of the problem that this is what I have, but this is what I want, or this it should be, but actually this is what it is. Actual behaviors versus should behaviors. This is a problem. How to motivate? My employees should be motivated. Actually, they are demotivated. The problem is how to motivate. How should I motivate my employees? So first is we need to write a statement. After that, we need to little bit elaborate on my problem. The first step is called what? What is happening? We identify the deviation. The problem statement, in writing a problem statement, the first step is writing the what. What is happening? This explains your observation. What are you observing? So that everybody can understand what is your observation and why this observation is there's a deviation. What is your expectation? So that's why people understand why it's a problem. And while explaining this thing, explain the phenomena. People are not interested in what should be the result. They are interested in what should be the phenomenon. What is the phenomena that is happening? And while defining, for the clarity of yourself and others, please, if possible, can you differentiate this type of a problem from other type of a problem? For example, you have a headache, but how this headache is different from normal headache? For example, there's a migraine, which is also a headache, but this is not the regular headache. So not all problems are similar. So when we are able to differentiate two problems, we are able to generate new solution rather than apply discrete phenomena on every problem. If there's a headache, just eat discrete. So generalization may not help, but specific solution may help. So when we describe the difference from how this problem is different from the rest, we are a step closer to finding a specific solution for the problem. Next thing is, not every time, but most of the time, uh, there are some certain type of deviations, either in the time, certain date, or certain frequency. Every morning when I wake up, on every Monday when I go to office, I don't feel like going. Is it happening regularly or is it infrequent? So if you see, doctors ask you, if you are complaining of high blood pressure, doctors will say, take a note of your blood pressure for the next 3 4 days and tell us at what time it is high, at what time it is low. So understanding the frequency and time of the problem is very, very critical. It helps you identify and separate the problem, what type of a problem it is. Is it some with some person, with some specific type of work, specific type of thinking, a specific type of environment? You feel perfectly fine, but when you go in certain rooms, you find this thing of when you are in close proximity to a person, or when you are trying to do some particular type of a task. So this helps you identify and separate the problem from the rest. Remember, generalization does not reveal good answers. We need to go into specifics to get the best answers. And another important tool that I have used in my life is changes. Can you understand what has been changed? For example, did you change your routine if you have a headache? Or what was the changes pre, during, and period? Anything changed before or after? This helps you identify the real causes. So many times the identification of changes can help you to solve a problem. For example, your car is knocking and you discover this time the petrol pump that you used was different from the regular one. So you identified the problem could be the petrol that you have used from this particular petrol pump. And the most important is, what do you want to achieve? So do you have a picture in your mind? What is the result that you intend to achieve? For example, I don't want to hear the noise. So how to reduce the noise? How to eliminate the noise? So can you describe, if the problem is resolved, can you describe the scenario that you will see? So what is the result that you are focusing upon? This will help you measure your results and help you evaluate the effectiveness of your results. So can we apply? I would like you to apply this thing, these steps on your problem. Can you apply one or two or three steps of this problem definition? What, where, how, change, or what, want and have format, and what are the results that you want to have? What are your intended results? So can you write this statements? Can you just write intended results that you want to have from solving that problem? I would like to see one. Okay, you are not getting want, have. Zara, see, if you have a problem, for example, the lamp is not, the bulb is not switching on. So what you want is to have the light, but what you have is that bulb is not switched on. So the difference between what you want and what you have. You want the car to start, but what you have is that car is not on. It's not, the engine is not running. Have, want. So this is the difference, the gap between what you want and what you have. You want your employees to be on time. What you have is people are habitually late. So the gap between want and have. Unable to learn, proficient. So what are your intended results? Okay, so that's good one. That's a good problem. You should be proficient, able to speak and understand language as it should be. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, let's move forward. So first lesson that we learn is we cannot solve a problem if we cannot define it, if we cannot see the intended result. So this is where most of the problems occur. We have a problem, we just attack the problem without defining it, without actually realizing what is the outcome that I want. For example, let me share a very common issue of communication that we will be sharing in the next session as well. Uh, I want to communicate my feelings to someone, and I want that person to be motivated. So if I do not use this analysis of intended result, my communication might go all wrong. I'm trying to be positive, but the choice of the words that I have and the body language might give opposite results. So analyzing and answering the question, what is the result that I want, and then analyzing your choices will help you overcome that problem. So let's move towards the second step, problem analysis, identifying the cause. So analytical thinking, as I've written earlier, is when you want to discover the cause. So we are trying to find, these are the techniques of finding the cause. Root cause analysis that also uses 5 whys and brainstorm. And I will be using one more technique in a root cause analysis, a different technique called cause and effect trail. This is a very powerful method that I have come across. It's much easier to be used than the traditional root cause fishbone technique that I will also be sharing with you all, however. But this technique is a very effective technique. This is a diagram that shows the relationship of causes to problems and enables you to identify key causes. This diagram, as you can see from the screen, we put our problem in the center in the form of a circle. So this is a circle. This circle we will use it. Now we will write all sorts of causes that we can come across, all sorts, without thinking whether it's linked or not linked. Just write all sorts of causes that you can come up. You can use brainstorming in group or individual. Write as many causes as possible. So first of all, in the first step, what we will do is list the effect of problem at the center and then write different causes around that problem. And then what we will do, we will use, we will link different problems, causes to the problem. Like, as you see, low employee performance, poor teamwork, and the poor teamwork is linked with the leadership style, which is linked to organizational objective, which is linked to lack of clear career progression, which is again linked to troublesome organizational structure. So you can either stop here or you can go. So these problems are linked. See, so non-alignment of applies is linked with absence of flexible work. There's poor level to poor motivation, which is linked with this. So improper empowerment is linked with improper job design, which is linked with low professionalism. So then after highlighting all the causes, we think about how these causes are linked with each other. And then we trace back to identify the root cause. So what I want you to do, for your problem that you have written, identify 5 or 6 different causes that you can highlight, and then try to create a link between these 2, 3, or these causes. Can you find the link between the two? So right now, take a paper and identify the various causes that you can think of right around the problem that you have, and then try to link those problems causes with the problem. You can take 2 minutes to do this thing. So if anyone who has a question, you can type the question. Take 2 minutes to develop this cause and effect trail. You can use your workplace problem or your life problem. Best method is to use group brainstorming to identify multiple causes. Okay, anybody has done 4 or 5 causes? Should I move forward? Okay, okay. So were you able to identify 4 or 5 causes and create a link between them? Yapka, Tanzil, were you able to develop 4 or 5 causes? Okay, good. Okay, let's move forward. This exercise is one technique to do the root cause analysis. And as we know, the root cause analysis is the, if we tackle the root cause, the problem will remove, it will go away. So the another technique of root cause analysis is a fishbone. There's a real life example of root cause analysis that actually happened, that a president of a car manufacturing company got an email that as a family we go to eat ice creams on every Saturday or on every Sunday. There's an ice cream parlor that is around 1 to 2 kilometers away from our home. Whenever we go and buy a vanilla ice cream, the car will not start. But when we buy a chocolate ice cream, the car will start. And they said that this has been happening for last many weeks, not once, not twice, many weeks. Every time they go to that ice cream parlor and they buy vanilla, the car won't start. And when they buy chocolate, the car will start. President ordered their set team of engineers to go and investigate. What do you think might have happened? Is this a real life problem? Is it the? Do you think the man was telling the truth, or is was just a hoax? What do you think? What did engineers do? No, it was not a hoax. Shut up. No, it was not an experiment. No, 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 no. No, Yapka. ठंड है तो क्या हुआ? Irfan, they can still eat ice cream. It's a mood thing, not a season thing. Yes, Ghulam, you are right, but that was a real life, a real problem. And for your curiosity, the engineers find that yes, it was happening. Vanilla, when they bought vanilla, car won't start, but when they bought chocolate, car will start. Yes, Osman. They asked the right questions. So what they did was they noted the time between buying vanilla and buying chocolate. And they also noted that how long, after how long, what should be the time when the car should be put, the engine is switched off. Using the right technique of root cause analysis, they identified that the timing during which the car was shut down, was switched off, was critical. If the car was switched on off for 3 minutes, it won't start. But if if it is switched off for 5 minutes, it will start again. So they identified an issue in the engine clearance, and they had to redesign the entire engine. So they asked the right questions and they went on to identify the root cause. They believe in the problem and then they changed it. So sometimes strange happenings can help you identify a problem that may be lingering in the air and help you solve. So using the fishbone diagram, you can identify. So it's a very standard tool. Fishbone, it has the 4 M's or sometimes 5 M's. and each wing of this is the wing of this each bone of fish. We have different issues linked to each. We keep on asking. We identify, just like the trail diagram, we identify different issues in the each head, and then we ask why, five times why, to arrive at the root cause. This is one of the standard Ishikawa diagram, also called Ishikawa diagram or fishbone diagram of a root cause analysis. This is a very standard one, and I hope all of you know this technique and might have applied it. The 5 by technique is a very, very powerful technique in decision making and problem solving. For each of the cause that you have, you keep on asking why. Why is it happening? Why is it happening? Why is it happening? And it is almost at, for some of the reasons, fifth why will lead you to the main cause. Sometimes third why, or sometimes we have to stop at fifth why. We cannot keep on going for why. So not more than 5 whys are asked on each of the causes to identify the right cause. So this technique also helps us to challenge and go in depth analysis for the problems. So in this section of root cause analysis, what we identified, there could be number of causes for any problem, but we need to identify the root cause of that problem. For example, if you are not feeling motivated, don't jump on the first cause, that the organization's environment you don't like, or you don't like your boss, or there could be other reasons. Go deep within. It might be your own thinking, your own feeling. If you keep on asking why, you will find out the cause. And once you have identified the cause, the next step will be to identify the solution. So as a habit, stop jumping to solution when somebody gives you a problem. Don't jump to solution, and don't jump to one obvious cause. There could be other causes inbuilt. So go on and keep on asking the 5 whys, or try to build the cause effect trail diagram. Then comes, after you have identified the cause, then comes the creative part of what can you do. This is called the creative problem solving. The first was the analytical problem solving. Now we are moving into the issue of alternative solutions or creative problem solving. This is called exploring the alternative. Remember that our brain is divided into two parts, left, right brain, or we can use the whole brain concept. Left brain, right brain terminologies has been in vogue for quite a few times. Now we are using the whole brain terminology. Now, what does left, right brain tell us? That our left brain has cells that are specifically used for logical thinking, whereas the right brain cells are designed for creative thinking. Those who are creative, musicians, painters, artists, they have a very strong right brain, while people who are good in maths, analytical thinking, like people in ACCA, they are very strong on left hand brain. Now we use the whole brain thinking, where both sides, left and the right brain, including the emotional side of the brain, we are now using to solve problems. So from left and right brain theory, we have moved into the whole brain theory. Second technique that we can use is called mind mapping or note making. Mind mapping is a very, very powerful technique. It says that mind is not working on sequential or list method, like the way we used to, where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mind is like a network, like the cause and effect diagram failed. It has different links. So if we use those mind mapping techniques, we are able to generate more solutions, and we are able to come up with a more comprehensive analysis and picture of this problem. Mind mapping techniques are very, very good. Second, in creativity, the most important skill is fluency. Fluency means how many ideas can you generate in 1 minute. The opposite of fluency is rigidity. Now, that means we cannot think of one or two solutions. For example, to help you with fluency, how many uses can you come up with a paper clip, for a paper clip, the one that we use to bind paper? How many uses can you come up with a paper clip in 1 minute? How many uses can you come up for a paper, that U-shaped paper clip? Open mobile SIM, yes. Ear kharish, yes. Clip here, same, yes. Thermal conductor, yes. Yes. Teeth cleaning after eating, yes. Use as a hook, excellent. Zip puller, yes. Back seal, yes. Pin papers, open mobile SIM hook, yes. Opening of locks, yes. That's what we see in the movies. So fluency is a skill that we have to learn by asking the right questions or imagination. So the more we are creative, the more options we can come up. And please, in fluency, most important thing is not to be critical or judgmental of oneself or the, oh, this is a foolish idea. This is a killer for creativity. For fluency, think of as many ideas without generalizing, without critical thinking. And flexibility. Flexibility means your ability to change your idea. Once you are thinking logical, now you are thinking creative. You are thinking of something else. You are flexible in your approach. You are not rigid on only one line of thinking. So the more you are flexible, the more you will be creative. And since it's your own idea, it's original. It does not mean it has not been thought of. It's your idea, it's original. We will be using association right now. I will be teaching you association or force connection. So there are many techniques: lateral thinking technique, brainstorming, step laddering, crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is a very powerful technique that is being used these days. There are your e-commerce websites, they are using crowdsourcing. Now let's look at forced connections. Forced connection is basically a technique of creativity that forces you to create a link between two strange items, your problem and any other strange item that has no relationship whatsoever with your problem. It could be a word, it could be any object. And then we identify the characteristics of that product, of that object, and link it with the problem. For example, let me share this idea with you. First, you would choose any random object. Could be two or three or one. I'm using right now one just to help you understand. After identifying any object that comes to your mind, anything, any random thing, it could be an air, it could be a gin, it could be water, it could be anything in the world. Then what we do, we will identify the characteristic of that object. After identifying the characteristics, we will try to link the characteristics with any aspect of the problem. What does this characteristic help us learn about the problem? Let me give you an example. For example, we want to improve the quality of a car. That's our challenge. The problem is that the quality of a car, the design or any functioning or anything is not that good. And we have come up with an object called nose, our own nose. So as you can see, there are characteristics associated with nose. It has two nostrils. It has the ability to smell. It is visible on the face. It can be decorated with jewelry. It is have different shapes and sizes, and it has hair inside. So can anybody tell me what aspect of these characteristics can we use to improve any aspect of the quality of a car, any aspect of a car? Okay, smell. Zara, how would we use smell in improvement of the car? How can we improve car? Excellent. The ability to clean exhaust gas by hair concept. Excellent, Sultan Ahmed. Very good. Or the jewelry of the nose to decoration. Very good. Okay, when the car has some issues, smoke smells bad. Very good. Shape of the car versus jewelry on the nose. Good. Cleaning up the interior. Yes. Visible on the face. So you see, we can use any object in the world. For example, if it's air, we can use the light and we can use the flying thing in the air. We can use different aspects of the air. Yes, the smell of a new car. So this is a very, very good technique to create unrelated relationship between the two. And let me share the power of this technique. Now the banks are using it. They have used the concept of a hotel, hotel's lobby, and bank. And now you can see the banks have a lobby where there are coffee tables, there's a TV screen, there's newspaper, people sit there, people talk with each other, they do business talks. So they identified the relationship of a hotel lobby with the bank and developed a new customer-oriented banks. So forced connections can help us identify new features, new designs, new characteristics in our product. So this is one aspect of creativity. This is something that I have written just for your information. So this is forced connection. Apparently there are no connections, but we apply our brains to create some relationships. So what did we learn in our problem analysis and our critical thinking, in our creative thinking, is that we need to come up with more than one answer. Now, here, let me share one quotation by my boss. He said, Mopin, never come to me with a problem and never come to me with a solution. I was surprised. What does that mean? I said, why? He said, you are a manager. Your job is to make a decision, not to become a postman that there's a problem. I'm not interested in problem. So don't come to me with a problem. You must try to resolve it. Second, if there's only one solution, you don't need to ask me. Just do it. You only need my input if there's more than one solution and we want to have a discussion on which solution is better. So never go to your boss with a problem or with only single solution. Always come up with multiple solutions or multiple analysis so that you can have a good, healthy discussions. So be creative in your life. This is the most important, and everybody of us is creative. There's not a single person, single soul on earth who is not creative. So creativity does not mean you can design new car, new clothes, or something like that. You can paint. It is everywhere in everything that we do. Next, after exploring the alternatives, we have to choose between the alternative. Now, this is a very important step. Decision analysis. We have applied creative tools. We have applied the root cause analysis. Now we know what is causing the problem. We have developed our definition of the problem, and based on that definition and root cause analysis, we have been able to identify multiple solutions, more than one solution to the our cause. So how can we remove it? For example, if somebody has a disease, there could be multiple options. The person can take allopathic medicine, can take homeopathic medicine, can take a herbal medicine, or do nothing. Even do nothing is an option, and always include it in a part of your option analysis. Do nothing is sometimes status quo is a very powerful technique, powerful method of problem solving. So you have four options. What would you do? The answer lies in decision analysis. There are multiple tools for decision analysis. One is PMI, plus minus interesting. Other is force field analysis, decision matrix, and reverse brainstorm. We will try to use two methodologies here, decision matrix and PMI. First of all, before I go into this one, I want you to identify at least three options for your problems. The problem that you have highlighted, can you identify 3 to 4 or 5 solutions to your own problems? And can you identify the cause or the causes that you will attack? So take 2-3 minutes to write down your solutions and the causes that you have. So try to write in a structure, what is the problem? Define your problem. Develop your root cause analysis. Should be more than one root cause or more than one causes. For each cause, ask 5 whys. Why? And then for the root cause, can you come up with more than one solution? So were you able to identify any 2 to 3 solutions? Anybody who has been able to identify 2 to 3 solutions? Can you share any one cause and its solution? Any one cause and its 2 solutions? Both Zara Aziz and Zara Azam. Good. 2 Zaras. Can you identify, can you share any one cause and 2 solutions to that cause? Anybody who can share one cause and at least 2 solutions? Okay. Feroz, ask anybody who can would like to share, or Harun.
Can you guys please raise your hand so I can unmute you? Ghulam Farid, if you are interested, you can unmute.
Zara Azam, would you like to talk?
I see Muhammad Bilal and Shumail Shuja.
Okay, unmute them, please.
Okay. Muhammad Bilal, you're on self-mute. You can unmute and speak up.
Bilal, you are unmute.
I think Bilal is not available. Shumail, you are unmuted and you're currently on self-mute. You can unmute and speak up. Anyone else who wants to get unmuted? Okay, Ghulam Farid, I'm unmuting you. You're on self-mute, Ghulam Farid.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. I hope everyone must be fine. And thank you, sir, for giving a chance to speak. Actually, the problem I have identified, actually, I am in a foreign location, and the barrier I'm facing here is the language barrier. I was, I'm from Pakistan, so here it was the most common problem for me. I'm unable to learn the local language, and while communicating with the senior management for different reporting aspects and even taking decisions, it is very difficult for me to communicate because they are not proficient in English, so and I'm not proficient in their language. So that is the one of the problem. And the cause is, the one of the cause, even while hiring me, they do not consider I'm proficient in their language or not. Second, here there is even no mechanism for any foreign employee. If they can have some mechanism to give them the basic training for the language, there is no such mechanism over here. And second, there are quite very few people who, they are even proficient in English well, so they can help me to, understand the local language, and so I can translate in English as well. So the solution I'm looking forward is, even I have request here different people who are proficient in both English and the local language to interact with me and give me some time to like a training session every day so I can learn some words, can practice with them. So this is some sort of I'm trying to apply this scenario.
Okay, this is one solution. What is your next solution? You should have more than one solution.
The other we can, even here I can request them, especially if they're hiring someone from a foreign location, so they have to make sure they have some local arrangement or like a trainer who can give us some coaching to get some basic proficiency in their language, so we can cope up with the local management for better decision making and working environment.
Okay, good. So you should have more than one solution. If you have only one solution, it may not work, and you will get frustrated.
All right, sir.
So you must have more than one solution in order to overcome your problem. You can ask people over there to give you tutoring. There are, or you can, and this is a very good opportunity for you to start your business of teaching Turkish language.
Yes, this is
Under
this is this is right now I'm doing, I'm making my notes on the Word document. So I'm taking their local words and putting the English or just same as in the English, then the Latin words. I'm making different stuffs, like I'm having like a homework every day. So I'm interacting with them, taking their words, getting the same word in English. So making such kind of notes. So that this is what I'm trying to do now.
it's a business opportunity for you.
Yes, sure. So I have two
You can
language,
make the
Turkish.
money using
Yeah.
this one. Good opportunity.
So I have Turkish and Kurdish, two languages actually here. So I'm trying to learn and getting this kind of things over here.
Yeah, that so it's a good opportunity. You can develop an app to learn Turkish, and you can really make money. We can be a partner in this business. Good idea.
Sure, sure. Well, welcome, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, good. So you see, we have different sorts of problem, from learning language to maybe strategic questions, strategic analysis. So and when we force ourselves to only one or two options, if we lose out on many other options. Let me share this thing with you. Wikipedia. Uh, do you know how Wikipedia started? Anybody, any idea how Wikipedia was started? Any idea? What do you know about Wikipedia? Nearby schools, Tanzil Ahmed, beautiful idea for Mr. Our friend. Uh, in schools, children learn pick up language very fast. Now, how did it start? This is what it do. Open source and people post their knowledge. This is what it is being done. You know how did it start? As I was telling him, this is an opportunity, business opportunity. Wikipedia was started by a person who had a very strong belief that only his solutions are the right, his opinion is right, all others are wrong. This is called dogma, dogmatic belief, that only my opinion, my solution is the right one, everything else, everybody else is wrong. So one day he had a discussion with one person, and he realized that there are multiple correct answers, correct opinions in the world. Not only one opinion or one answer or one solution. And once he realized this thing, that many people could be right at any one time, there are multiple aspects to any problem. He was a changed man, and he started this Wikipedia. The aim and the philosophy of Wikipedia is to have all the multiple opinions under one page. So in Wikipedia, you see every opinion is highlighted. And it's up to you to choose which one is right or which one is wrong, which one would you subscribe to. So all ideas about anything are listed there, and people can read and comment and criticize and accept and reject any idea on their own. So when you become multifaceted, when you become flexible in your understanding, you accept everything from everywhere. Let me share one more example of problem solving and creativity, a very, very beautiful example. The stunts that we put in our hearts and other veins. Do you know how did it emerge, the idea of stunts? Anybody who has an idea? the stents that we put in our hearts when we have blockade in our arteries. Doctors were trying different materials, but our blood is very salty. It has lots of salt in it. Then they understood that submarines and this Navy people, most of the ship is underwater. So they went to them and asked what type of material do they use that does not get affected by the salt of the sea. And from there, they developed this technique, these materials that now we are using as stents in our hearts. And they do not get corrosive and do not get attacked by other material, our blood. So when we open ourselves to multiple possibilities, multiple options in the world, multiple points of view, we expand our mind, and that is where the power of creativity lies and solutions lies. So think outside the box, find new solutions, and that's where you will learn and grow, and not only as a person but as a human as well. Okay, let's look at decision analysis. First, look at PMI, plus, minus, interesting. Now, in this first column, write all the options that you have, all the solutions that you have. Now, for each solution that you have, identify how much plus, what is good about it, what is the good. First, rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, how much good it is. And then also highlight what is good in it. So first highlight the option, then highlight what is good in it. Second, highlight what is negative in this one. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how much negative is it? Now the third point is very different. It may have plus, it may have more minuses, but it could be intriguing and interesting in some other aspect that needs further clarification, further research. So you write your option here, identify the positivity of this option, the negativity of this option, and what is the most interesting aspect that needs further exploration. So when you do plus, minus, and interesting PMI, you get an idea, a 360 idea about this option, the plus and the minus of this option. This is a very, very powerful mechanism. Next method is decision matrix, a very, very rational method. We use it in strategy a lot. Almost all strategic analysis are based on some decision matrix, where we evaluate the quality of each decision. What we do, we identify the variables that will be critical in implementing that decision, that can have a weight and a bearing on that decision. For example, the cost, time, human resource, matching with the organizational structures, technology, its impact, etc. There could be number of variables that you can use to measure the different options. And then what we do, we identify those criteria, all those criterion here in the first column. We write all the criteria. Then we can assign the weights. Now weight here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but in actuality we can either write 1 to 5 or we can use 100% total. If the total should be 100, both methods are common. In weighting, we give the weight 1 to the most important, 2 the least important. or in other words, if we use 100% criteria, the sum of all these should be 100. So I can give criteria 1 50%, criteria 2 20%, and the remaining 30% is divided into all three. For example, 10 10 10, or we can use 15 and 5 and 10. So the total should be 100. So now what I do, I give a score on 1 to 5 on this score, and then multiply with the weight to get this total score. I give 1 to 5 score of this criteria. Okay, option number 1, these are my options, my creative solutions that I have come up. So now I'm trying to find out my solution number 1 on criteria number 1, cost. If it's a low cost, I will give it a high price, high score. For example, say 5. If it's a high cost, if it's a high cost, I will give it a low marks, say 1, and I will multiply it with this one to get this one. So at the end, the option with the maximum points will win. Here, for example, option number 3 is getting 75 marks. So this is a very, very powerful method where organization use it because of its the objectivity. It's a very highly rational method and very transparent method. It highlights your criteria on which you are evaluating your choices. So you highlight your criteria, you develop a weighting importance scheme, and then you evaluate each option against that criteria and you generate the total. This is called weighted decision matrix. So can you identify any 2 or 3 criteria for your solution? At least 3 criteria. There has to be at least not 1 criteria. It's a useless thing to have only a single criteria. So can you come up with 3 criteria that you would use, and can you give weightage or importance of these criteria? How much weightage will you give to 1, to 2, and to 3? Can you come up with the weightage criteria? Weightage? Develop at least 2 or 3 criteria for your solutions. Thank you, Arsalan Naseem. See, this is called crowdsourcing. You are getting ideas from everywhere in the world. This is crowdsourcing. So very good idea. No, criteria is not the solution. Criteria is what you are using to evaluate. For example, this option requires how much money? So there are 2 options. One requires less money, other requires more money. One requires more time, other requires less time. So which option would you prefer? More time or less time? It's not criteria 4. It's not about criteria 1, 2, 3. It should be name of the criteria. For example, price, cost, or time, or difficulty. Yes, time, frequency, cost, less time, lower cost. So you have to identify criteria, how easy it is. For example, ease of doing, ease of implementing. Can your people implement it in easy way, or it's difficult to implement? The cost effectiveness, time effectiveness, and adoption issues, implementation issues. So there are the number of people available, technical skills available. So you need to come up with more than 1 criteria to evaluate. For example, you want to apply in a university. What criteria will you use to choose between 3 universities? Which should be number 1 university? Which should be number 2 university? You love all 3, but you need to have a rational decision making rather than emotional. So weighted decision making. Yeah, Ansoff matrix is in marketing. It's a one matrix where we use should we go for product development or market development? But that's a option solution. That's not a weighted decision. GE matrix is a weighted decision matrix. Yeah, fee, conveyance, duration, college brand recognition, ease of access, accommodation, and everything, and my friends. So whatever is the reason, yes. So you need to come up with the criteria to evaluate against those criteria which is the best. So when we are taking rational decision, we need to identify if I'm choosing one over other, what is the criteria, and that makes it very transparent, very logical, and people can challenge your criteria or even your analysis. Okay, this for that this option is more important than other. So you can ask people to evaluate that option, or you can discuss your option openly with others. That people will be able to analyze and criticize your decision making, whether they agree or disagree with your approach of analysis. Good. So this is an example where you can see what is the advantage of each, what factors will affect. Another important effect analysis in decision making is to analyze the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? How will this decision affect your stakeholders? Especially when in negotiation, you must understand the analysis of your stakeholders. While communicating, you must have an analysis of your stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders and what will be the impact of your decision on those stakeholders? So decision analysis, you must incorporate stakeholders. Another technique is called force field that I want you to study on your own. It's a very powerful technique that we can use to. Okay, the next is potential problem analysis. Now that in last example, you have identified the option. Don't stop here. Okay, I have approached my options. I have done my decision. No, not yet. You must do one more thing. Potential problem. What will be the consequence? Like just like stakeholder analysis, potential problem analysis. What areas should you take into account in the long run, in the short run? What are the consequences of this decision? And can you live with your consequences? Help you there. If there are risks associated and you have identified those risks, you can cope with the risk very easily, because you can say this is a risk that I have taken and I take full responsibility of all the risks. So higher the risk, higher is your ability is your requirement to analyze and look for more options which are less. So you need to identify what are the consequences and the risk of this thing. You have to do stakeholder analysis, you have to do options analysis. So how can you manage the risk? What is the biggest risk? If you remember, we did BATNA. BATNA is this risk analysis. So before you move into final decision, look at the consequences of your decisions and perform the risk analysis or decision tree analysis. How many of you know the decision tree analysis? Anybody who know the decision tree analysis, or should I highlight it? Do you know the decision tree analysis? Okay, there are some people who have no idea about decision tree analysis. Decision tree analysis is a probability analysis. For example, you want to go to your home and there are two routes available, route A and route B. So the probability that the route A will be closed and the probability that route B will be closed, you are like that, and the cost associated with taking each option. If you take route A, the cost of taking route A will be X amount and the cost of taking route B will be Y amount. And when we multiply the cost with the probability, we come with the outcome. For example, if the probability that the route A will be closed is 70% and the probability that route B will be closed is 30%. But if we take route B, the cost of taking that route will be much higher. For example, there are tolls and other longer distance, and the cost will be 100, while the probability of close will be 70, but the cost associated will be 30. So you might decide that I will not go for the higher cost, we will go for the lower of the cost. Expected value method, exactly. Yes, chances of occurrence of each options are identified and then a decision, exactly. So decision tree is a very good method once you know the probability and the cost associated with it. Yes, it is the same. So decision tree is again potential problem analysis. So potential problem analysis is about the risk analysis and analyzing if I go with this, what might go wrong. Why would this fail? For example, just today, I was discussing with a friend that I saw many boards of people with screen polishing. They say will polish your screen if it has some lines on it. So I asked him, what is it? He said, never ever think about it. I said, why? He said, for 2 months it will be okay. After 2 months, you will repent. The risk analysis that we did it, he said, after 2 months, your screen will look like some hazy thing and you will not be able to see anything and you will have to spend for 40,000 rupees to replace your shield then. So don't even think about it. So this is the risk analysis. When we go for something, doctors always give us this consent form that there's a 5% probability of this risk in this operation, in this procedure. So we need to highlight that the risk. Is this risk worth taking, or we can live without that? So we need to identify what might go wrong, and doctors do it all the time. That is why they have this consent form. The potential risk analysis of every procedure, every decision that you take, there's a 5% probability that something will go wrong. So you must identify that potential problem analysis. And in the last, once you have done that, now you have to create an implementation plan. How will you do that? What will be that timeline? What are the goals? How would you measure? Whose collaboration would you require? What are your benchmark dates? Set your goals, set your timelines, set your review dates. What budgets and resources will you be requiring? Even if you're going in a university, you need to have this implementation analysis. What is the budget required? How will you generate that budget? Who will take care of your family responsibilities? For example, those who want to go for MBA while they are married and they want to take executive education classes, who will be assigned to responsibilities, whose collaboration will they be requiring in their office, which department, finance department, supply chain, marketing department, corporation. So you will develop up that problem into a project. And this is where the power of decision making comes in. If you fail to develop this project, You will fail to sell the idea to the multiple teams, cross-functional teams. And that's why many people say, I don't get the support, because we do not do the stakeholder analysis properly, and we stop ourselves in between, and we think we have taken a decision, and then we start blaming others. They are not with me, they do not understand, they do this, they do that. They only because we have not done implementation analysis, we have not done collaboration analysis that is required, and stakeholder analysis. So far, any question before we close this session? I want to renovate my drawing room, but not my husband. Wow. So you want to renovate, don't want to renovate your husband. Spend some money on him as well. Yeah, you have to find some way to convince him. Okay. In the last, I have this assignment for you. So these are the steps. We have defined the problem. We need to identify the causes, explore the alternative. You have to choose alternative, and then we have to sell the solution so that we can implement it. In the last, in the unmoderated session, you are requested to share your stories of good and bad decisions. For example, what went wrong? Why did it went wrong? And most importantly, what did you learn? We make good decisions by learning from the bad decisions. And for good decisions, what was the best thing that you did? Was that by luck, or you really did some analysis? And again, what did you learn from your good decision? If you do not analyze your decisions, good and bad decisions, you will keep on taking wrong decisions or unlucky decisions. So this, in the next moderated sessions, we would like to hear your stories about good and bad decisions. Any comment, anything you would like to share with me before I close this session? So there are many books on emotional intelligence. Daniel Goleman is the major author. Emotional intelligence and working with emotional intelligence. These are the two main books on emotional intelligence. Daniel Goleman. You can go and buy Daniel Goleman, the basic books on emotional intelligence. There are many books available on emotional intelligence. Even on net, a lot of materials available on emotional intelligence. Daniel Goleman. There are many books on. I have PDF. Go to pdfdrive.com and you can download thousands of books for free. PDF Drive. You can download thousands of books on multiple topics for free. Even emotional intelligence is available. Yeah, Sultan, there are some slides that were not relevant for the PDF. It was only for the PowerPoint. So I have deleted there. It's complete. Otherwise, it is a complete PDF file. So don't worry. The things that have been deleted, they are not really relevant. They are just for some discussion based. Okay, thank you very much. Can you repeat the name? Zahid Daniel Goleman. Thank you, Feroz. let's close this session and see you next time on communication skill. Feroz, we can't hear you. Feroz, we can't hear you.
It's not me, basically, it's Harun. I think he's having some trouble with his internet connection. Let's just not wait for him. I think it will take time for him to reconnect his connection.
Okay, then. Okay, Allah Hafiz. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you
God
so
bless
much,
you all.
Mubin, for your time. It was a wonderful session. It was quite interesting for me as well, and I could see the interest of the participants and the questioning and the answering. It was quite relevant.
Yeah.
So
Decision
we'll just
making is an important skill. We need to learn.
yeah, very important. Thank you so much for your time. We will be meeting on Wednesday for our communication skills webinar.
Yes. Yes.
Till then, you can think about the stories that Sir Mubin asked us to think about regarding decision making. Till then,
Yes, Feroz, can you hear me now?
yes, you're audible now.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I was also going to say the same. I think very interactive, very interesting session. Thank you very much, Mubin, taking time out, discussing this very important topic. What I was also going to say was that the unmoderated session is very important. The task that has been given to you is very important. You have time till Friday or Saturday to think about those decisions that you have taken in life or you've taken in your professional life, right? And analyze them and share your learnings with others. So come prepared, and hopefully you're going to find this a very interesting exercise as well. Like Mr. Mubin mentioned, our next session is going to be on Wednesday, and this one is on communication skills. Again, a very important subject. So looking forward to seeing you all in the next session on Wednesday. Thank you very much and take care of yourselves.
Thank you, Allah Hafiz.